In 1992, something unusual happened beneath the frozen mountains of Alaska, not by the US, but by China. A seismic signal, not from an earthquake, but something artificial, buried deep, perfectly geometric, too perfect. It wasn't just a rock formation. It was shaped like a pyramid, and not just any pyramid. It was bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, hidden, silent, forgotten, or maybe deliberately buried. China went quiet, but the US didn't. Within weeks, military flights increased over remote Alaska, surveillance planes, unmarked helicopters. Locals reported restricted zones near Mount McKinley. Satellite maps? Blurred. Coordinates? Removed. Google Earth? A gray patch? Why? The location was close to a Cold War military base, now sealed. Locals say they heard machines under the ice. Low vibrations at night. Ground rumbles, but no earthquakes. Dogs barked into the empty sky. Then came the silence. One man spoke up. Douglas Muchler, a former U.S. Army intelligence officer. He claimed he had seen government reports of a massive black pyramid hidden underground. He filed a request under the Freedom of Information Act. The file was missing. He wasn't the only one. A technician at a local radio station claimed their signals were being scrambled from underground. Not satellite interference, but something coming from beneath. A deep frequency, pulsing. Soon after, that technician disappeared. News didn't report it. No headlines, no questions. Just rumors on forums and whispers in radio chatter. Locals called it the Black Thing. They weren't allowed near the area. Fences, military guards. No explanation, no warnings, just silence. A local geologist named Heather Laskin published a paper suggesting artificial structures under the Denali fault zone. Her university pulled the paper, said it was a misinterpretation, but the files were leaked. Blueprints, angles, depth charts. A symmetrical structure made of material denser than granite. It was built, not formed. Then the military arrived again. Not in public view, but under the cover of night. No lights, no trails, just movement and disappearance. A pilot flying over the zone claimed his compass spun wildly. Then his plane lost power. He barely made it back. When he reported it, his license was revoked. So what is the Black Pyramid? Ancient structure? Military project? Or something not from this earth? Here's the strangest part. Ancient native stories talk of a dark stone under the White Mountain, a sleeping giant, a source of energy, and a warning. If awakened, it would speak to the sky. No one listened then. Few are listening now. But the signs are growing. What's buried beneath Alaska may not want to stay buried. A retired Air Force engineer came forward in 2001. He said he worked on a deep Earth monitoring system in Alaska. When asked what they were monitoring, he paused, then whispered, it wasn't natural. They were tracking energy. Raw, electromagnetic pulses, rising from below in regular intervals, like breathing. He left the program. 2 weeks later, he died in a car crash. Single vehicle accident. No skid marks. No autopsy released. In 2005, satellite footage leaked online. A rectangular shadow under the ice, perfectly aligned with the magnetic north. It was removed within hours. Accounts deleted, forums shut down, but screenshots remained, and questions kept growing. Then came the weather shifts. Locals near the Denali region reported sudden microstorms, clouds forming over one specific ridge, snow melting in strange geometric patterns, trees dying in perfect circles. A wildlife researcher claimed birds avoided the zone. They flew around it, never over. Even predators refused to enter. She set up a camera. It recorded 18 hours of static. then went completely dead. No power failure. The batteries were intact. Only the data vanished. In 2010, a whistleblower published a blog post alleging that the Black Pyramid was a leftover artifact. Not human, not even ancient, but something older than time. He said the structure didn't just exist, it functioned. It was pulsing energy into the Earth's magnetic field, a kind of stabilizer or weapon. When asked where he got this info, he said, "Ask the Department of Energy, but they won't answer." Weeks later, his blog disappeared. All archives gone. Even the Wayback Machine had no record. A strange coincidence? Or something more? Nearby, a native Alaskan elder gave an interview to a small podcast. He said the government came to their village in the 90s, told them not to talk about the buried dark place. He asked, why do they fear it if it's not dangerous? No one answered. Years passed. The story faded. Until a construction crew building a road near the Denali base reported finding metallic stone underground. Their equipment malfunctioned. GPS failed. One worker collapsed from nausea. They were told to stop digging. No explanation given. The project was quietly canceled. Researchers believe this stone is not stone at all, but synthetic material. Unknown composition. Harder than steel. Immune to X-rays, it absorbs signal, blocks radiation, and emits low-frequency hums. They say this could be part of a structure, or a seal, something keeping whatever's inside contained. But here's what no one dares to ask. What if it wasn't meant to be found? What if it was hidden on purpose? Not by governments, but by whoever built it? Because if it's a machine, then it may not be sleeping. It may be waiting. And in the silence of Alaska's frozen wilderness, some believe it's already waking up. In the frozen silence of Denali, something has shifted. The ground doesn't shake, it pulses. Like a heartbeat, measured, intentional. Locals say the air feels heavier now. Birds have vanished from the trees. The forests have grown. Silent. And at night, the stars over the mountain blur. Like the sky itself is holding its breath. February 2024. A satellite detects a low-frequency burst from deep beneath Denali. Not natural, not random. A coded pattern. Morse? Binary? Something older. Within 24 hours, magnetic anomalies are recorded across northern Alaska. Compasses spin. Migratory paths shift. Even auroras glow in strange geometric shapes. Some call it nature. Others call it contact. A whistleblower from within the U.S. Geological Survey leaks a document, Project Helix. It warns of a rotating energy source underground. Not geothermal, not seismic, but directional. As if something is powering up. DARPA immediately takes control of Denali airspace. Civilian drones are blocked. Climbers are turned back by men in unmarked snow gear. Military grade. A leaked memo refers to the structure as the core. It's not passive, the document says. It responds. Not just underground, but through the atmosphere. Across the globe, strange signals are picked up in radio telescopes. 3 short tones, a pause, then a long, low frequency. It happens again, every 6 hours. An answer? In Peru, near a buried pyramid, animals flee. In Siberia, under the ice, a research post records identical pulses. And in Egypt, the Great Pyramid vibrates. Not a myth, not superstition, a global sync. The pyramids are activating, one by one. Or maybe all at once, A fringe scientist proposes a theory. What if these aren't structures, but switches, placed long ago, waiting for the right moment, or the right frequency, or the right mistake, and we made it. Earth's magnetic field has been weakening for years. We thought it was climate change. Now we're not so sure, because one of the last readings recorded at Denali, before all access was shut, was a map, a spiral, with Earth at the center, and the pyramids as anchors. Energy isn't just leaking, it's converging. NASA stays quiet. The Pentagon denies all, but locals report the ground breathing. They say the mountain is no longer still. It hums in the early morning and glows at night. Is this a weapon, a defense system, or a messenger? And if it's awake, what has it already sent? No one knows who built the Black Pyramid. No one knows how old it really is. But one thing is certain, it wasn't built by us, and it wasn't meant to be found. Now, it's too late, because we didn't just uncover a machine. We disturbed something older than memory, and now it remembers us.